Promises, promises. This week's big issue in the Bangkok Post. This is Dave Kendall with the Big Issue, a video companion to the hard-hitting Sunday column by legendary Bangkok Post journalist Alan Dawson. This week, Alan writes, Suthep Gamnan Turksuban, the 2014 coup-enabling Bangkok shutdown artist, who used to have a close personal relationship with General retired Prayut, has openly stated he will campaign tirelessly for votes because he wants actual power in a post-election government, probably a coalition. Alan, thanks for joining us. What was the relationship between General Prayut and the Gamnan?
That's a really good question, and I think it depends much on your political point of view as it does on the facts. Mr. Suthep claims that he was acting in coordination with General Prayut, who was then Army commander at the time of the Bangkok shutdown in 2013 and 14. In other words, he was an important figure in the decision-making that led to the coup. General Prayut wishes to disagree with that rather vehemently, saying that he had nothing to do with the Bangkok shutdown, that he never coordinated a thing with Mr. Suthep. So it's going to be left to perhaps history, we hope.
And how do you see this playing out, Alan? ACT gets enough votes to help General Prayut become Prime Minister? Or does Mr. Suthep really want power himself? And if so, what's his game plan?
Yes, it's an interesting point. Mr. Suthep has been Mr. Suthep has been Deputy Prime Minister in up to 2010. There is a question of whether he wants full power. The answer is probably not. He has always enjoyed being a kingmaker without being the actual Prime Minister. I think he wants his party to have a share of power, but does not want himself to rise right to the very top of the government.
And clearly the idea of easing gridlock in Bangkok in 3 months sounds a little ridiculous, but some recent government actions you mentioned, measures like helping farmers who've lost their land to loan sharks, it does look like populism and a political campaign, but isn't it at least helping people?
Yeah, I think that, people in Thailand, just like people in most of the world, are not opposed to a certain amount of populism. And there's two problems here. One is, what is a certain amount? But the other problem is that the government, now in power, through its constitution, has effectively banned all populist programs, including the one that it just used in the past week to help 11,000 farmers out of debt. In the future, this is probably going to result in quite a bit of infighting in Parliament and gotcha and whataboutism on the part of the opposition. No matter who forms the government, there'll always be somebody saying, oh, but populism's against the law, so this program should not be legal. And I think that they've led themselves down a very, very bad path by putting this in the Constitution.
So even if we clear up Bangkok traffic, there'll be some political gridlock to look forward to. Alan Dawson, Big Issue columnist, thanks for joining us. Read the Big Issue every Sunday in the Bangkok Post print edition, the e-newspaper, or at bangkokpost.com. Leave your comments below or on the bangkokpost.com website. I'm Dave Kendall. Have a good week.